Welcome back everyone once again. So here I am with the comparison operators. There's not a really huge gap between web development CSS video and this video because I wanted to release files video, but actually the sequel of booleans video is comparison operators, because in the comparison operators we'll be learning more about symbols, and every result and every output of comparison operators will be boolean. So first let's learn about what is a comparison operator. So let me take a pen. So the symbols, as you can see over here, are known as comparison operators. Please keep your video clarity minimum 360 pixels to understand everything clearly. In this lecture, we'll be learning about comparison operators in Python. These operators will help us to compare variables and output a boolean value, as I said you. So just let's make an underline over here. Will allow us to compare variables and output a boolean value. True or false? True or false is very important to underline because that's a boolean. Boolean is the easiest topic in Python because that just consists of two topics. There's a true or false. That's it. So if you have any short background in math, these operators should be very straightforward. First, we'll present a table on the comparison operators and then work through some examples. Let me bring up that table in an Excel presentation. Okay. So here is the table of format in front of you on the screen. Let's first learn about all the operators and test one by one 2 times in Visual Studio Code. This is a new shock for you. If you don't know about Visual Studio Code and don't know how to download that or don't know anything about that, please go to the previous video, that is web development CSS website. I know there is no relation between VS Code and CSS styling website except the coding part, because they both are interrelated in the coding, and it is also a famous and popular text editor for coding. Even it comes with many languages to code and many not databases, so you can do many things in VS Code. First, let's keep all that aside and then concentrate on the operators, description, and example of that. First, let's see about equal to and equal to. We learned equal to as a variable assigning for a letter or a word. Like we said, x equal to ABC and print the x value. But if we want to compare two numbers, like 2 equal to 2 or 1 equal to 1, we'll use 2 equal to signs to equate them or to compare them. If the values of two operators are equal, then the condition becomes true. Absolutely. Example, A equal to B is not true because A equal to A is true, right? Yeah. Next one is not equal to. The exclamatory mark may confuse you, but that is not equal to symbol. And if values of two operands are not equal, then the condition becomes true. So if A is not equal to B, then it is true. Yeah, if A is not equal to B, that is true. And it's a greater than symbol, and this is the greater than symbol and this is the less than symbol. But in the Python, we won't say that. If the value of left hand side or left operand is greater than the value of right operand, then the condition becomes true. A is greater than B is not true. A is less than B is true because A is assigned as 1 and B is assigned as 2 according to the alphabets and number table. Not in Python, not indexing, of course. So A took first place in alphabets and B took the second place. So obviously 2 is greater than 1. So on the basis of that, I just gave A is not greater than B. That is not true. That's it. Not indexing, and don't confuse with that. Just an example. And this is less than or equal to, and this this is greater than or equal to, and this is less than or equal to. Let's test each and every example of this 2 times for true statement, for true output and false output. Both outputs will be coming. And after testing everything two times of each operator, let's go to chained comparison operators. In there you will be using this comparison operator or this comparison operator two times in a single equation. So first let's head to Visual Studio Code, and then I'll show you how to launch your Jupyter Notebook in there and how to create a file of Jupyter Notebook. Okay. So here is the Visual Studio Code. First, I want to do that is, so even we can get a recent folders over here and a help, learn, customize. First, let's create. What we'll do is, first let's drag a folder to here. Let's say I'll open my folder. Um, let's go to desktop and let's create a folder over here. A new folder. Let's say that folder name is Python development. That folder is created successfully. Let's drag that folder over here, and in that folder just create a file. The file name will be comparison operators. Typo, yeah. So what it is showing is the name comparison operator is not valid as a file or folder name. Please choose a different name. So why is it saying like that? Every programming language has its own unique extension like .css, .html, .py for Python. So if now we are in Python, so let's say this is a Jupyter Notebook file, so .ipynb, and let's save that. It's still not coming, no problem. Let's delete all the spaces and capital letters. Still it is not showing, right? 1 second. IPynb extension need to work. Yeah, I just removed the operators and just kept comparison.ipynb, but it's not coming. Just refresh the folder, it will take some time because IPynb extension need to work. Yeah, it is showing Jupyter. Yeah, now it is connecting to kernel. It will take some time for the first time, no problem. Yeah, here we are. So this is the modern Jupyter Notebook we are using in Visual Studio Code. Previously we used to have white color thing, but now we have dark theme. Even you can change your theme over here. Just click settings, color theme. We can just take white, white or dark. Everything is there in here. So let's say white. White will be like that. Oh, it's not good for me. Let's change that to dark. Visual Studio. Yeah. So this is the first cell in Jupyter Notebook. Now what I'll do is just say for everything we are taking two examples for true and false. First example will be 2 is equal to 2. Let's enter that. It's true. Same commands are followed for this also. Just shift plus enter to run the command. And next 2 is equal to 1. Let's test that. It's false. Completed. Equal to comparison operator is completed. Now let's say not equal to 2 is not equal to 2. It's false. And 2 is not equal to 1. It's true. Come on. Not equal to comparison operator is also completed. And next, greater than comparison operator. Let's check with that. 2 is greater than 1. It's true. And what if 2 is less than 1? It's false. Great. Two examples are completed according to the Boolean and comparison operators. more than that is really not necessary for this topic. For chained comparison operators, you can play as many examples as you want. The next one will be less than comparison operator. 2 is less than 1, let's say. Okay, before we took 2 is less than 1. Okay, no problem. Now let's say 2 is greater than 1. Okay. Before we did not took greater than symbol. I'm so sorry. 1 is greater than 2. It's a false. True here, false here. And 2 is less than 1 is false. This is a less than comparison operator. I've done it already. I did not see that, but no problem. 2 is less than 1 is completed. Let's test 1 is less than 2. Yeah, 1 is less than 2 also completed. All the operator is completed over greater than or less than operator is completed over here. Equal to or not equal to comparison operator is completed over here. I just confused a little bit of here to give an example for you, but no problem, everything is covered. If you want to take a brief look again over here, next we'll go to less than or equal to or greater than or equal to. First let's go to greater than or equal to. Greater than or equal to 1. It's true. 2 is greater than 1. So no need to check off equal to, right? 1 is true, then it will print true. Let's say 1 is greater than or equal to 2. So 1 is neither greater than 2 nor equal to 2. That's why it's the output of it is false, right? The next one, let's go to less than symbol. 2 is less than or equal to 1. It's false because 2 is neither less than 1 nor equal to 1. Next, 1 is less than or equal to 2. The output will be definitely true because 1 is less than 2. Equal to 2 is wrong, but less than 2 is correct. So that gives us true statement, a true output. I hope we've completed everything. No problem, don't worry if I go too fast or too slow. The repository will be published in, not repository, the file will be published in GitHub. I'll give the link to the repository Python project material so you can check everything there, what is done till now. And next let's go to chained comparison operators, where you and I will be confused a lot, even that it is a simple topic but will confuse a lot. Let's head to some conceptual understanding and then let's come back to Jupyter Notebook with a new file. Okay. Now let's learn about chained comparison operators. This is also very important topic in comparison operators, but a second part of that. Now let's see about and or operators. Little confusing, no problem. And okay, let me choose another color. Black one will be correct. And is over here. Man, 1 second guys. Yeah, and is over here and or is over here. Now chained comparison operators means, so if we take a iron hollow sphere over here, hollow sphere means it will be like that. See, I'll just show you. It will be like this. Okay, it's not a sphere, but imagine. And the next one, let's say we have something like that, and that, and over here in the bottom, like that over here, and a bit over here. So what is this we call in English? It's a chain. This is a ring and this is also a ring connected and it formed a chain. Let's join these two so that it becomes a chain really. Yeah, it is a chain right now. Now let's say we add one more chain over here like that and like that. Yeah, and now one more chain has been added to our previous chain, and this is a chain. In Python we will not use this kind of chain, but let's use operators in between a code like 2 or more than 2. Let's say 1 is less than 3, but 3 is greater than 2. The English is more required over here. It can be also written with and or operators. Let's say 1 is less than 3 and I'm using a symbol instead of that because I don't have space over here. Where 1 is less than 3 and 1 is less than 2. And let's say 3 is also greater than 2. Test this in your Jupyter notebook and the output must be a true boolean. Okay. Now let's go to this example. 1 is less than 2 is less than 3. Now let's write this in manual format like 1 is less than 2 and is less than 3. Most of you might be popular with writing the code in a paper and some of you might be popular in typing the code. Both are same, but writing and coding is correct, and also typing and coding is also correct, but writing even gives you a practice of code, and that is very very useful. Even some people like professionals, they write on paper quickly and then copy and code it on the laptop so that they won't confuse in between the code while typing. So but someone or like some people, they just type and code immediately and spontaneously they'll be coding. Not like me, but I am similar to them. Even I don't write the code, I'm too lazy to write that code. I'll just type and imagine and type and imagine and type. And next, let's say 1 is less than 2 and I'm using that symbol again, but you use and in the Jupyter notebook if you are seeing this tutorial, and as well as coding in the Jupyter notebook if you want. Or otherwise, get all the files in my repository named Python project materials. I'm saying you again and again, don't forget. The next thing, 1 is less than 2 and 2 is less than 3. In this place, you can also write 1 is less than 3. Anything is same. Let's say if A is less than B and B is less than C. So C is greater than A and B. Let's use common mathematics here or basic mathematics. So C is greater than A and B is only greater than A, but A is less than B and C. Okay. That said, I'm saying that A is less than B and B is less than C. So of course A is less than C, right? So B is interlinked between A and C so that we can equate this or this. Nothing will change the output with true. Okay. Now let's read the statement by clearing all the annotations we've done on the paper. Yeah, 1 second. Please give me a minute. Yeah. Now let's take the pen again. So the output of this equation is true. We've learned that. And the next one, the above statement checks if 1 was less than 2 and if 2 was less than 3. We could have written this using an AND statement in Python. The AND is used to make sure two checks have to be true in order for the total check to be true. So to write this command in AND, just break the loop over here and just say 1 is less than 2 and repeat that with 2 is less than 3 or 1 is less than 3. Both are same. So 2 is less than 3 because I broke a loop over here. That's not a loop but a code over here and just replaced AND conjunction for the Python code. This is the example for and now let's move to OR. Okay, now let's move to OR. First let's clear everything on AND because we'll be using more on OR also. So now for OR, let's take an example. Let's say 1 is less than 2 and 2 is less than 3. So OR checks if even one statement is true and then it prints immediately true. Let's say 1 is less than true, I mean 2, and okay, OR operator is used over here. 1 is less than 2 or 2 is less than 3. So both are true statements. It will definitely give you a true result. If one is true and one is false, it will also give you true result. Okay. See, if you got an example over here, 1 is equal to 2 or 2 is less than 3, the output is true. Note how it was true. This is because with the OR operator, we need only one or the other need to be true. That's it. That the OR operator checks only one statement if it's true or false. If both are false, it will definitely give you a output of false. The output of false conditions are if 1 is greater than 2. Python knows 1 and 2, they are numbers, integers, or 2 is greater than 3. This equation is just converse of this equation, I mean opposite of this equation. 1 is neither greater than 2 or I mean nor 2 is greater than 3. So both are false. So the boolean you will get in the output will be false. That is the condition for false. And for AND statement also we have some false statements. But let's don't confuse the false statements and even learn both. I'll show you true and false, don't worry. First, let's head to Visual Studio Code and try out some examples over there, so that we'll be more clear with that. Okay, now let's head to Visual Studio Code. First, let's create another file on chained comparison operators. So let's say chained comparison. Yeah, it's taking the file type and let's say .ipynb extension. That's must and should for launching the Jupyter Notebook kernel. Now enter that. It will fetch you Jupyter Notebook kernel. Python 3.9 64-bit requires IP kernel to be installed. Okay, let's install that. And that's getting installed. 1 second, guys. I am installing this in front of you only. Yeah, it's been installing for just past 5 seconds. Don't worry. That's not a hang in our laptop or desktop. It's connecting and installing at the same time. So let it take some time and even we'll take some time for that. Yeah. The representation is over here. You can see clearly. So the advantage of Visual Studio is that it will give you ready-made file types or the languages you want, but if even you can install them or damage your space. Like installing is nothing but damaging your space. Don't damage your space, but if it insists you to damage your space, then please do that, because that really doesn't damage, but if you are in a critical state it may damage your space. Okay, it is showing me some warning. Yeah, it's successfully installed and it's now connecting to IP Python kernel. It's fetching the kernel right now. Let's ignore all that. I think this is Python 3.9 because Python 3.9 is released when my first video in my YouTube channel was released. Even I showed you how to download Python 3.9 from Microsoft Store. Terminal, we don't want that. Let's keep an output over here so that we can get an output over here. Now let's start with that. let's first test this example over here. The first example we are testing is, I've shown you in annotation this example. Don't get bored with this example because that's very, very important. It's true. The output doesn't show anything, so let's delete that. And that's true. And the next one, so here we just break the the junction over there and just kept a conjunction over there. So now let's say 1 is less than 2 and 1 is less than 3. Okay, 1 is less than 3, and also let's say and 2 is less than 3. Let's test this 3 at a time. It's true. And testing 3 at a time with and or also works, but that's difficult to test over here because so many examples will be there. You can just test that and just give me your experience in the comment section, or you can connect with me personally in Discord server. The link will be given in the description of every video. And next one I wanted to show you is 1 is less than 3 and no, not using and. First let's test with the equation. 3 is greater than 2. Let's test that. Yeah, that is a true output. 1 is less than 3. Now let's use an AND conjunction over here, and 3 is greater than 2. Let's test that. So it's true. Every output now we are getting is a boolean. And next let's go to or let's play more with AND. So we did not even get a false statement for up till now. Let's say 1 is greater than 3 and 1 is less than 3. Let's print that. It's a false. So now we can conclude that even if one statement in the equation is false in AND concept, then it will print false. Let's also confirm that. Okay, we already confirmed that. Let's say both of them are false. What if both of them are false? I definitely know it is a false output, but let's test that and I'll show you that also. Okay, 3 will be not greater than 4. 1 is less than 3 is true. 1 is greater than 3 is false, and 3 is greater than 4 is also false. The output is false. That's great. So what if 1 is false? The output is false. What if both are false? Then the output is absolutely false. And now the confusing part with and or over here. Let's copy that. Okay, let's do that in the end. Now first let's see even or examples and then let's combine both of them. First let's say 1 is equal to 2 or 1 is less than 3. The output must be true. Yeah, it's true. And next 1 is equal to 1 obviously, or let's say 1 is greater than 3. That must be a true even. Yeah, that is true because it only checks for true. If both are false, then it's definitely false. That's it. In the simpler words, in AND, it will just check for two statements. If one is false out of them, then the output is false. If both are false, then it's definitely false. In OR condition, if OR condition checks for the true statement, where is it? I need the truth. I need the truth. I need the truth. It will check for truth only. Okay. And next, let's say 1 is equal to 1 and 1 is greater than 3 is completed. Let's say 100 is equal to some zeros, indefinite zeros number. Let's print that it's false. And let's also give an OR condition over here, and let's say 1 is greater than, oh, it's a point. Okay, let's print that again, and it's a false because both of the statements are false, so it will definitely print false. And the next one will be going of combining AND statement and OR statement. Let's take that previous example over here. Okay, already we've copied that. Let's paste that over here. It might be a little confusing, but let's test that. It's true. So first let's know about AND. AND checks for both. So it is checking for 1 is less than 2 and 1 is less than 3. We have to break that equation into two parts. So the first part will be 1 is less than 2 and 1 is less than 3. This is the first part of the equation we have, and the second part of the equation we have is 1 is less than 3 or 2 is less than 3. So this is the second part of the equation we have. First part obviously gives you a true output, and the second also gives you a true output if one is true and the output is true in the OR conditional statements. Now what I'll do is I'll just delete all that, paste that again. Now I'll change one of the equation with a false one. So this is a false one. Let's once again. Let's do that once again. 2 is less than 1. That's a false statement. Now let's print that, and it's a false. Okay, we did not give an OR statement over here, otherwise it is true. Okay, let's print that. Yeah, it is true. Now if we give an AND statement over here, it will be false. Let's interchange the positions between those two and let's check that again. And over here and an OR over here, let's print that it's a true. Because OR prints first and comes the next. It might be difficult or confusing for you, but don't worry. One is so let's break that equation again. 1 is less than 2 or 1 is less than 3. So OR is in the first priority, so the output will be decided on the OR, and the next one we have will be 1 is less than 3 and 2 is less than 1. So 2 is less than 1 is definitely false. Everyone know that. One second, yeah, I just wanted to enter that. Now even now we are getting that it's a false. First we'll get this is a true statement because 1 is less than 2 or 1 is less than 3 is true. But 1 is less than 3 and 2 is less than 1 is false because it doesn't check for this equation. So even if we delete the equation, the output will be the same. Let's do that again. So firstly, that code will go through the equation we've written over here. Again, it will come to this equation over here, and the final result will depend on that equation. Hope it's clear. If you have any doubts, let me know in the comment section. And I told you already, if you want me to contact with you 24/7, except night times or the sleeping time. If you want to contact with me personally, you can join our Discord server where 21 members will be assisting you with web development as well as Python. Currently, I think no one in my server are interested in Python except me. I'll guide you through Python if you want, and the others will guide you in web development in a cool way. Even some of my partners or the staff people, they even know C, JavaScript and Java. Even I know JavaScript, and they know Java and C also. So you can join our server for more interesting stuff and even become a partner. I think you saw our official homepage. Many of them contributed for that. It might be a different view in your phone because we are developing on that currently, because the orientation in the phone is different from the orientation in the laptop. So that we are coming up on that right now, and we are fixing that with some websites in online. Don't worry, that issue will be solved in 2 to 3 days. If that doesn't, please let me know in the comment section. If that doesn't change, we used Netlify app to publish our website and secured our website with other websites like HTTPS. Even our website can be shared, and it's not a local file. It is published to a server that named Netlify. Hemagna did that. He is alias known as interested coder in Discord server. He is super cool in coding, and even not only him, Pratik, Black Panther, P7, Franklin, so many are there. Coded Dave. He is from iOS development, and even so many people are there. I can't mention each and every one name. Mona is the new one in our server. He or she, I don't know. Um, he or she helps me in the video editing, I think so. And the Frosty Ghost is also there. He is also a new person in our server. Many more are there in our server, but mentioning one by one is so difficult for me. So if anyone's names got missed, I'm really sorry. I don't remember. I think everyone's name is covered. Pratik, Hemagna, Franklin, Black Panther, and Moana, Frankly. Okay, Franklin is already covered. Frosty Ghost. That's it, I think so. Yeah. Coded Dave. Dave is really cool, and he does iOS development. Eternity is also there. I don't know more about him or her. Even she or he is from iOS development. That is Eternity. Okay, that's more than enough for you and me. So please join our Discord server for more updates. Bye bye. Meet you in the next lecture with files.